Although President Trump has made quite a show for himself, his wife, First Lady Melania Trump, has done her best to mostly stay out of the spotlight. But from her childhood to their fateful meeting to their marriage today, we're taking a closer look at Trump's right-hand lady.
Finish this sentence for me. Melania Trump is
staying true to herself.
When Melania tied the knot with Donald, the billionaire had already been married twice before, and according to Vanity Fair, his first wife, Ivanka Trump, shared his penchant for publicity. The businesswoman reportedly doled out a, quote, press kit of flattering clips to interviewers during talk of her husband's potential 1980s presidential run. Yeah, he's been kicking the idea around for a while.
If there were politics, it would be as a Republican.
It would be, I guess, as a Republican.
According to The Independent, Donald and Ivanka were a seemingly unified front when it came to cultivating dramatic Page 6 headlines, but they split in the early 90s amidst the Donald's scandalous affair with model Marla Maples. Donald married Maples in 93, but according to Insider, they finalized their divorce 6 years later, after Donald met Melania at a party through mutual friends. When Melania married Donald in 2005, she became a stepmother to his 4 children, who were barely younger than she was. Melania is just 7 years older than Don's eldest son, Donald Jr., and as of May 2020, Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany are 38, 36, and 26 years old, respectively. That's not exactly a huge leap in age from their stepmom, who just entered her 50s. It's not at all surprising that candid language is part of Donald's vocabulary. We saw as much when the leaked Access Hollywood tapes, born in the same year he married Melania. What's most peculiar is that the First Lady, who is notoriously tight-lipped about her private life, has been wildly candid about her intimate relations with the billionaire in the past.
And he was known as kind of a ladies' man.
According to the New York Post, Melania signed to a modeling agency at the age of 18, and in a joint 1999 interview with Howard Stern, she revealed that the couple allegedly got busy once a day or even more. A year later, the public got a glimpse of the action with the model's steamy GQ cover story. Today, the tables appear to have turned. According to CNN, correspondent Kate Bennett's book, Free Melania, the Unauthorized Biography, the couple don't share a bed in the White House. Melania allegedly has a room of her own on an entirely separate floor. Melania is undoubtedly shy about PDA. The former model has been caught swatting her husband's hand away during a trip to Israel, only to reluctantly hold it while posing for official photos. She even once notoriously greeted Donald with a handshake. Though the First Lady's affection clearly isn't for public consumption, in her previous life as a model, she didn't mind bearing more than her soul for her art. In 2000, Melania threw caution to the wind for a steamy January spread in British GQ. Longtime editor Dylan Jones revealed to The Hollywood Reporter, given that she was obviously so keen to be featured in GQ, we came up with a rather kitsch and camp story for her to feature in. In the cover shot, the future First Lady appeared on a fur rug dripping in diamonds and handcuffed to a briefcase in a private jet. At the time, it epitomized the kind of luxury the star grew accustomed to in her gilded Trump Tower penthouse. Melania isn't like most First Ladies when it comes to her nationality. According to the New York Post, the model was born in Slovenia in 1970 to an Austrian father who owned an auto dealership and a Slovenian mother who worked in the garment industry. Melania was discovered by a famous photographer at a modeling contest when she was 17 years old. At 18, she signed to an agency in Milan, then moved to the US in 1996, according to BBC. This makes Melania one of 2 foreign-born First Ladies, second only to John Quincy Adams' wife, who earned her title in 1825. According to USA Today, Louisa Adams was born in England in 1775. The First Lady speaks Slovenian, which she's taught to her son, Baron. And according to CNN, Melania can also speak French, Serbian, German, and Italian, along with English and her native tongue. 6 languages, no big deal. In September 2016, Trump announced his hallmark immigration plan in a speech that detailed his intentions to build a wall across the U.S.-Mexican border and deport 11 million undocumented immigrants, according to the New York Times. This was nearly derailed mere weeks later when the AP uncovered information about his wife's immigrant status. It appeared that Melania launched her American dream illegally. According to BBC News, Melania first entered the U.S. in August of 1996 with a visitor visa. During this time, the AP alleges that Melania made over $20,000 from 10 modeling jobs without legal permission to work. This work allegedly occurred in the 5 weeks before her H-1B work visa was approved that October. In 2001, Melania graduated to an EB-1 visa, also known as the Einstein visa, which is theoretically reserved for highly acclaimed leaders in their respective fields. So how did she make the cut? She's a celeb with a ton of press, and applicants must meet 3 out of 10 noteworthy criteria, which includes coverage in major publications and significant contributions in your chosen field. Per the BBC, Melania became a U.S. citizen in 2006. So it turns out being rich and famous can help you in life after all. Once Melania secured her citizenship, she was able to sponsor green cards for her parents, putting them on a path to become U.S. citizens. And according to the New York Times, the pair obtained their citizenship in 2018. Ironically, the very process they used has been slammed by Melania's husband.
These are frivolous claims to gain admission into our country.
According to CNN, Trump has long sought to end the visa category that allowed Melania's parents to become citizens. Per the New York Times, he even went so far as to denounce the process while his in-laws were going through it. Just months before Melania's parents had their naturalization ceremony, Trump tweeted, "Chain migration must end now. Some people come in and they bring their whole family with them who can be truly evil. Not acceptable." There's still a lot of speculation surrounding Melania's parents' green cards. According to the New York Times, a person typically has to be a permanent resident for 5 years before they can even apply for citizenship, but some reports claim that the couple only obtained their green cards a few months prior. When asked if they used chain migration to become Americans, their immigration lawyer told the outlet, quote, "I suppose." In an unprecedented move that cost taxpayers millions of dollars, Melania famously delayed her move to the White House. Instead, she stayed in her $100 million penthouse in Midtown Manhattan. According to the Washington Post, her initial reasoning was the fact that she didn't want her then 10-year-old son to have to start at a new school in the middle of the year. But could she have had another motive? In her book, The Art of Her Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, reporter Mary Jordan alleges that the former model stayed behind to renegotiate her prenup. In truth, the highly private model didn't exactly sign up to be a first lady, and her existing prenup had allegedly not stood up to the task. She did, however, renegotiate it to her liking. This reportedly included more protections for Barron, like a role in the family business and a sizable inheritance, just like Trump's 3 eldest children. Melania finally officially moved into the White House in June 2017. In 2016, Melania was slammed after delivering a speech at the Republican National Convention that bore striking similarities to a speech given by Michelle Obama at the Democratic National Convention 8 years prior.
You work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
Although multiple lines from Melania's speech appeared to match Michelle's, in some cases word for word, the Trump campaign denied it had been plagiarized. The campaign claimed in a statement, "In writing her beautiful speech, Melania's team of writers took notes on her life's inspirations, and in some instances included fragments that reflected her own thinking. Melania's immigrant experience and love for America shone through in her speech, which made it such a success." But that wasn't just a one-off incident. Melania appears to have habitually drawn inspiration from the former First Family, particularly with her Be Best anti-cyberbullying campaign. According to Business Insider, when the former model announced the initiative in 2018, she circulated an informational pamphlet titled "Talking with Kids About Being Online," which was nearly identical to the one published by the Obama administration in 2014.
Those voices cannot be ignored, and through Be Best, I will do all I can to help them.
The White House did eventually own up to recirculating the packet with certain minor updates. Melania reportedly later agreed to rebrand the old pamphlet. You only have to go as far as Donald Trump's Twitter account to see his stance on the mainstream media. While the president has taken to calling pretty much any media outlet that reports facts to be fake news, Melania actually had a major win against real fake news. In 2017, the star fought the notoriously harsh British tabloids and won.
I didn't expect media will be so dishonest and so mean.
According to USA Today, Melania first sued the companies that own the Daily Mail online in 2016 after the publication claimed that the modeling agencies she worked for in Milan and New York also operated as escort agencies. She, of course, denied the allegations and ultimately won a retraction, but that's not where it ended. In 2017, Melania refiled her $150 million suit. According to USA Today, this was an unprecedented move. Though Donald had yet to be inaugurated when Melania first filed, he had since taken office. Until that point, a First Lady had never filed a libel lawsuit, which is notoriously difficult to win if you're a public figure. According to The Guardian, Melania ended up working out a settlement with the media company, though it was nowhere near her original ask. She received less than $3 million, along with a public apology, but a win is still a win. Rumor has it that Melania doesn't exactly get along with Ivanka Trump. According to an excerpt from Mary Jordan's book, the pair have allegedly invented some not-so-nice nicknames for each other. Melania reportedly dubbed her stepdaughter, quote, the princess, and Ivanka supposedly called her stepmother, quote, the portrait, because Melania rarely spoke. But this wasn't the only time the pair seemed to clash. According to Business Insider, Melania was not thrilled when Ivanka allegedly tried to rename the First Lady's office the, quote, First Family Office. Ivanka reportedly ruled the roost before Melania moved into the White House and treated it as if it were her own home. Jordan wrote, Melania did not like it. When she and Barron finally moved in, she put an end to the revolving door by enforcing firm boundaries.
There's one First Lady.
Melania even reportedly donned her infamous I really don't care, do you jacket as a dig at her stepdaughter. This also may have been the sole time the billionaire's wife wore fast fashion. In Kate Bennett's book, the pair's relationship was described as, quote, cordial but not close. It appears that Melania really is being best. The former model is actually the most popular member of her family currently working at the White House. According to Vanity Fair, she's adored by the permanent White House staff, but that opinion is also largely shared by the public. YouGov's 2019 findings show that 51% of Americans view the First Lady favorably. This may seem slim considering the alternative is that nearly half of all citizens don't like her, but it's actually a much better approval rating than her husband. Only 44% of Americans viewed Donald favorably at the time, with 42% of Americans viewing him, quote, very unfavorably. In comparison, only 19% of Americans have those kinds of strong feelings about FLOTUS. Melania also fares better than even her stepkids do. Ivanka Trump is the most liked of Trump's eldest children with a 44% positive rating. Donald Trump Jr. only has a 36% positive rating, and Eric Trump only has a 32% positive approval rating. Though it should be noted that 24% of Americans polled said they don't know what to think about Eric anyway. Ivanka's husband, Jared Kushner, has the lowest approval rating at just 27%.
I want to show them that I don't care. You could criticize whatever you want to say, but it will not stop me to do what I feel it's right.
Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.